welcome back to Q's Hot Takes, guys, and I'm so excited about today's show. So, for sizzling headlines, instead of talking about a billion things, I'm going to focus on one thing, and let's talk about North Carolina A&T's track teams and how they're killing it. And then I'll preview the conference finals. So, let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so North Carolina A&T sophomore Cam Sturgis won the 100 and the 200 meter outdoor track and field national championship. Uh, that's just really impressive considering she was a heavy underdog in both events. And in the 100, she ran a 10:74, and she beat out Tanisha Terry and Tamara Clark. Tanisha Terry, I remember her from the 2019 track and field national championships. She beat out Shakari Richards, who, as we know, is just killing it, and she will be representing the USA in the 100 meter at the Olympics in a couple of weeks. And then in the 200, Cam Sturgis, she beat out Alabama and Ohio State, and she ran a 22:12 in that race. So, congratulations to Cam, and she's only a sophomore, so she could be doing this two more times. She's got 2 more years. And I also want to give North Carolina A&T's women's 4x100 meter relay team some love. They finished third in the nation in the national championship 4x100 meter relay. So they finished behind USC and LSU, and Cam Sturgis is on that team. Kamaya Epps is on that team. Jonah Ross and Simone Darius is that's who the team was comprised of. So shout out to those ladies. Keep up the good work, and who knows, maybe next year they can win it. So we shall see. And let's move to talking about Auntie's men's 400 meter team. So Frost won the men's 400 meter race. He ran a 43:85, and his teammate Trevor Stewart finished in fourth place. He ran a 44:95. So congratulations to them. A shout out to Auntie's 4x400 meter relay team. They represented well. They won the race, and that team is comprised of Elijah Young, Daniel Stokes, Trevor Stewart, and Randolph Ross Jr. So Randolph Ross Jr., he'll be competing in the 400 meter race at the Olympics for Team USA, and Trevor Stewart will be on the 4x400 meter relay team for Team USA. So shout out to them. Congratulations to them. And Cam Sturgis, she will be competing in the semifinals tonight for the Olympics. She ran really well yesterday in the 200 meter first round. So I fully expect her to advance to the finals, which I think are tomorrow. So congratulations to her, and good luck to Cam Sturgis, Randolph Ross, and Trevor Stewart at the Olympics. So before we leave sizzling headlines, I wanted to note this. Randolph Ross Jr., he chose North Carolina A&T over schools like Ohio State, South Carolina, and Iowa. His dad, who of course runs the North Carolina A&T track program. So I just want to commend Randolph Ross for choosing the HBCU route because it's nothing like going to HBCU, especially, when it comes to homecoming and being at HBCU for spring, and you'll make friendships that you'll have for the rest of your life. So I definitely hope this opens up the avenue of more of our top track athletes choosing to go to HBCUs and dominating these Power 5 schools, because it's nothing like it. So definitely hope this is the start of a trend of our top track athletes choosing to go to HBCUs like North Carolina A&T and just beating these Power 5 schools in the national championship in track. It's so awesome to see. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that before we end sizzling headlines, and shout out to Dwayne Ross, who, like I said, is the track coach at A&T. He's done an amazing job since he's taken over. So definitely congratulations to A&T. Keep up the good work. And like I said, good luck to all the A&T athletes that will be representing us at the Olympics in Tokyo in a couple weeks. So that does it for Sizzling Headlines. Now let's preview the conference finals. So now it's time to preview the conference finals. So before we do that, I thought it was interesting that none of the four remaining teams have won a championship in the last 50 years. The last team in our Final Four that won a championship was the Bucks in 1971, and then the Hawks when they were the St. Louis Hawks. They won it in 1958. The Clippers and Suns have never won a championship. The Suns, as we know, did play the Bulls in the 1993 NBA Finals. All right, so first we're going to talk about the Hawks and Bucks. As we know, the Hawks are up 1-0 right now. Game 2 is tonight, 8:30 on TNT. So I'm taking the Hawks in this series. I think that this young team is something special about them. They've beat the Knicks and the 76ers. They were underdogs in both of those series, and it seems like they thrive off being the underdog and not having many people believe that they can pull it off. I feel like they have the better coach in Nate McMillan. Hopefully they do the right thing and make him the permanent head coach. I think it's no way that they let him go after the run he's taken them on and the way he's turned their franchise around after they were 14-20 before letting Lloyd Pierce go, and then when Nate McMillan took over, they were 35-15. So that's reason number one. And I just trust their role players more than I do the Bucks role players. So I trust John Collins, Clint Capella, Herter, Bogdanovich, Gallinari, Lou Williams. I just think this team is so deep around Trae Young, and he does a great job of when they, try to double him or try to, get the ball out of his hands. He does a great job of making the right decision and getting his teammates involved. So I like that he does that. And if the Bucks continue to play that stupid drop coverage on Trae Young, he's going to average 30-10 this whole series. So I really don't think the Hawks have a great answer for stopping Giannis. All you can do is try your best and hope he misses. But I just feel like the Hawks have all the momentum right now, and I feel like this team is special. I have the Hawks winning in 6, but the Bucks, they have to not blow leads when they're up 5 with 2 minutes to go. You have to. One thing about the Hawks, if you don't put them away, they'll hang around. They'll eventually take the lead, and then they'll win the game. And you just have to put a team like this away because they're scrappy. As we saw in the Philly series, they came back from 18 points and 26 points. And that just shows you how resilient this team is. I definitely think that they can't allow the Bucks to get easy looks. I feel like they need to do a better job of slowing down Drew Holiday. And I feel like the Bucks, one thing the Bucks do that gets on my nerves is they settle for threes too much because they have the clear advantage inside. I think they should go small, maybe put Giannis at the 5 because Brook Lopez, 7 points, 1 rebound. Come on, you can't play him if he's going to give you that little production. Do it if they went smaller. And I think the Hawks have to continue to push the pace, try to get easy looks before, the Bucks can set up their defense because the Bucks are really good on defense. Can Drew Holiday continue to play well like he did in Game 1? We shall see. But I trust the Hawks more. I trust their coach more. I trust their superstar, Trae Young, more. And I think what the Hawks should do is when Giannis drives, I know he was hitting his free throws in Game 1, but we can't count on Giannis to continue to hit his free throws like that. So I think they need to make him earn it at the line and don't give them easy baskets. And I think the Hawks will win in 6 games. And yeah, Right, so let's talk about Clippers and Suns now. So as we know, the Suns are up 2-1. The Clippers pulled away last night. Uh, I still have the Suns winning this series in six. I think the Suns they just had a bad game. It happens, they had won 8 or 9 in a row. I think it's nine in a row. And it was good for them to finally. Not saying you want to lose, but I feel like it's good for them because you don't want to go in the finals on this long winning streak, you know. But the Suns have been playing really well up until last night. But I feel like the Clippers they started hitting their threes and they kind of made the game ugly. Pat Bev was getting all in Devin Booker's grill. He was getting in Chris Paul's grill. And I feel like that's the recipe for success for the Clippers. They have to be physical with the Suns, kind of being in their face, turning it into like a street fight, kind of, and they just need to hope the Suns are cold like they were last night. Devin Booker and Chris Paul, they both really struggled last night. And I think that's because the Clippers really ramped it up on defense and they took it to another level. But I think the Suns need to continue to play well, spread the ball out, spread the wealth. And I feel like they need to, hopefully campaign can come back. He had an ankle injury. I think that was huge not having him last night in the second half because had been playing really well, coming off a 29-point game. I think they really missed him in the second half last night. So hopefully he can come back. Hopefully he can return. But I expect the Suns to get back to their winning ways in Game 4, and I expect the Suns to win this series in 6 games. I just think that they're too deep, and I just trust their role players more than I do the Clippers, who don't have Kawhi Leonard, and I think that's going to be the reason why they don't win this series, because the Suns are just rolling right now. They're clicking, it's just something special about this Suns team, the way that they defend, the way they get after you, and the way that they just spread the ball out. They don't really care about who gets the points and all that. And their role players have been playing phenomenal, whether it's been Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, players like that, campaign. So I feel like that's going to be the reason why they win this series. They just have a little too much for the Clippers. But we know the Clippers, they love to get down 0-2, and then that's when they really start to play basketball because they're 0-6 in games in game 1 and 2, but they're 9-1 in games 3 through 7. So uh, I think that's because Ty Lue makes adjustments once they get down 2-0, and I don't know. It just seems like they have to be under some type of pressure for them to start playing basketball. But I just think the Suns are just too deep. And without Kawhi Leonard, who I don't think is going to come back and play in this playoff series, I just think it's too hard for the Clippers to try to beat a team that's this deep. So, yeah. Alrighty, so that does it for Keith's Hot Takes. No podcast next week. I'll be on vacation next week, but I'll be back in 2 weeks to preview the NBA Finals. I have the Atlanta Hawks and the Phoenix Suns in my finals. So we'll find out in 2 weeks if I got my prediction right for the conference finals. But I expect both conference finals to be very good, very entertaining. And yeah, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Peace.